what's going on? It's DevOps Rob back with another episode of Developer Advocate Diary. Today I am actually recording a video. So if you remember in the last episode, I was doing a live stream and the demo just went, yeah. So I've been debugging that, and it turns out that it was just my browser. I had issues with Google Chrome. It works perfectly fine in Safari, whatever, right? That's technical details that I'm not here to get into. But I started to question, like, how much value did people get out of that live stream if it appeared that the demo didn't work? So I figured what I'd do is I'd revisit that, and this time just put together a nice, well-produced video demonstrating the same thing, explaining what the problem is and explaining how my module that I've built can, solve that issue. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm in a room in my house that we rarely use because we had some issues during a renovation. So I actually used to use this room as a gym. I'm not quite sure if you can see, I've got like a pull-up rack here. I've also got stuff like an exercise bike and some resistance bands. So I used to use this as a gym, and then we unfortunately had an issue with the roof, and we had to get the roof completely stripped and redone. I'll just quickly show you. It's a little bit naked, so all this roof structure had to be rebuilt. So there's no point kind of plastering that and insulating that just yet, because we're doing a major renovation overhaul to the house, and this room is subject to it. In fact, I might actually even in this video actually show you what our interior designer has in store for this room. It's looking really spicy, I can't lie. But yeah, so it's kind of like an unused room. So I figured, seeing as my wife is working next door and she has meetings, I can set up a mini film set here and get cracking, deliver a video. But yeah, this is actually, when I took on the job as a developer advocate, this is not really what I signed up for, right? I thought I was going to be building demos and traveling to conferences and speaking at meetups and, maybe going to big companies and kind of demonstrating like cutting edge things. That's kind of what I signed up for. But then, I signed the contract, and then the pandemic happened and it changed everything, right? So now, it's a bit harder to meet in person. So we're doing a lot more things digitally. So I'm not complaining, I kind of got into this whole making films and YouTubing and all that just through the things that I was learning at work, and just realized I had a passion for making movies and cameras and the technology that goes into producing nice films and telling those types of stories. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, we're gonna set up this room as a studio. So I'll just give you a quick tour so you can see us the door. We have the gym equipment all over here. And then other than that, it's just kind of a dumping ground really. I've got some camera gear here. Also this box down here, don't know if you can see the box. I keep a load of filming equipment in there, from automated camera jibs to sliders to you name it. Like, I'm the gadget fiend when it comes to, it just comes to life in general, but especially when it comes to making films. So yeah, man. Anyway, we'll start to get this room ready. And yeah, we'll probably break for lunch after that, and we'll actually start the filming itself after lunch. But yeah, let's get the room ready. So we've set up as far as I can. So I've got my green screen here. I've got my key light, I've got my my camera, and I've got a reference monitor there. Yeah, I've got my laptop for the code part, though I'm still kind of figuring out how I'm going to do that. And I have my audio recording, because anyone that works with these types of cameras, like even this one I'm speaking to, you can see I've got a wireless lapel mic on, but yeah, the audio is not very good in these cameras. So just so you can hear me clearly, yeah, we want this to be clear. I've got separate audio recording equipment which is designed for the sole purpose of that audio. Cameras don't have to have good audio. So yeah, so that's where we are. I'm gonna go and have some lunch now, and then hopefully not get any mess on my t-shirt, because you can see this nice swaggerlicious Boundary t-shirt. I've deliberately put it on today because it's a demo about Boundary. So I really don't want to mess this up. It's the only one I got. So yeah, I might even go as far as put on the dressing gown. But yeah, we're pretty much set up to go after lunch. I'm just gonna hit that record button and get to getting, man. Like, let's do this, man. So let's go and eat lunch. So lunch over, it's showtime. I was just reading some notes just to remind myself of certain facts during lunch. I hope I can remember them. There's probably going to be loads of outtakes and all those things there, because I can remember it clearly in my head. But when you're in front of a camera and then you go to recite facts, it's easy to screw that up. So yeah, we'll see, man. But yeah, let's get cracking with the recording, man. Let's do this, man. Let's give the people what they deserve. Okay, cool. So the recording is now complete. Like, so happy about that. It's always a great feeling when you finish recording, though there's a few moments of nervousness, because you want to make sure there are no issues with the footage or the audio or something like that. So, you know, I'm going to take the memory cards from the camera and from my audio recorder and pop it into my Mac and just make sure that the footage is good and usable and, you know, fit for purpose. But yeah, other than that, the next step is to enter into post-production and create maybe a rough cut. Though I'm a bit of a perfectionist, unfortunately, so sometimes rough cuts don't happen. I end up just chewing all the way until what I think is a final product. But yeah, let's do the victory dance. Love it. Love it. So I will catch you back in my office when I'm doing post-production. I'll show you around. I'll show you some of the things that I use to make the magic happen. See you in a moment. All right, folks. So I've taken the memory cards out. I've popped them in my Mac Pro. I've checked them out. The footage looks good. The audio sounds good. So I'm satisfied. I don't have to re-record anything at this stage. Though I don't want to speak too soon. Sometimes things come up in post-prod and you have to go back and film. Sometimes it's just not feasible, so you make the most of it. But yeah, all good. So yeah, I use, obviously I just mentioned I have a Mac Pro. That's what I use to do all my video editing. I use Adobe Premiere Pro for the video editing. I do some other fancy stuff as well. Sometimes I use Photoshop. Sometimes I use Illustrator. Just some of these other tools, and you know, I have tools on my iPad that like stuff like Procreate to create time-lapse drawings and all that. These can add some nice production value to the final video. But yeah, and the other thing I'll show you is I've got this neat device. It's from a company called Loop Deck, and I'm just gonna show you. It's called the Loop Deck CT for Creative Tool. And let's see if if you can see that. Whoa, let's just make the camera a bit more. So yeah, this device here is cool because it completely controls like all the Adobe suite. So it gives me hands-on control. I can scroll up and down the timeline on Premiere Pro. I can control like different things like the volume of a track, or I can nudge clips ever so slightly or whatever. Like it gives me all sorts of control for Premiere Pro, Photoshop. You know, I can color grade and all that kind of stuff from this. It's like super nice. It's like one of the best investments I've made in terms of video editing, because it just speeds up my workflow so much. But yeah, I'm just gonna get cracking and see if I can create a rough cut by the end of the day at the very least. You know, it's coming towards the end of the day. It's almost 4 o'clock. So yeah, let's see how we get on. So quick update, I've pretty much completed the rough cut. You know, I've managed to sync my audio with my video, and I've done all the key chroma stuff to make my green screen invisible, and so you can probably see a hint of it behind me in Premiere Pro. And I've done some fancy things like add some Photoshop elements into the video just to make it a bit more pleasing on the eye. And I'm probably gonna call it a day there. You know, it is 5:45 in the evening for me. I'm starving, so I'm probably just gonna go downstairs and have some dinner with my wife and just chill out this evening. But yeah, tomorrow we'll probably just put the finishing touches to it. I'll just add, you know, like I'm a video enthusiast. I really love creating films and telling stories through films and editing videos and that whole process. But not every developer advocate is like that. You know, we all have different interests and different kind of skill sets in that sense. So what you're seeing me go through is not necessarily what all developer advocates at HashiCorp have to do. Though it's beneficial if you have some of these skills in this modern Dev Rel world, just because you know, a lot of things are digital now and it's a quicker turnaround time. If I had someone to edit all this for me, it would make my life a whole lot easier. But if I had to wait for them, then my turnaround times are a bit slower, which, you know, in most cases that's actually okay. But I'd like to get this out there whilst it's kind of still relevant, because the live stream was just last week. So yeah, that's kind of a different type of day to what you saw in the last episode. Today was just purely about filming, you know, editing, just like setting up my film set, if you like. Yeah, it's a different day. You never know what you're going to get in this job. So yeah, I love it. So that's another insight into a day in the life of a developer advocate. So I'm going to say peace and love, and I'll catch you on the next episode. And I'm not sure what adventure I'm going to take you on then, but stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Hopefully you like this video. If you did, do us a favor, give it a thumbs up. You know, it all helps with the algorithms and just getting a bit more support for the channel so I can keep bringing you content like this. But that has been another Developer Advocate Diary. Peace and love.